How much do you know about skinwalkers? If you think they didn't exist, I must admit that I used to believe the same as you. But even if you think I'm crazy, I'll tell you that they are very real. And now, I will tell you when I saw one. That afternoon, I woke up 10 minutes before the alarm clock went off. The room was completely silent. My wife was away on a business trip and the house felt emptier than usual. I stretched out on the bed and struggled up, feeling the weight of the prosthesis on my right leg. It had been an accident at work, and although at first I liked the idea of not working, then I remembered that I couldn't do anything on crutches. The dog, Max, slept at the foot of the bed as usual, but something had made him nervous. He was growling a lot more than usual. At first, I thought he was just dreaming, but then he jumped up and ran out the basement door, barking. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Max's barking grew louder with each passing second. His claws scraped the wood as he tried to open it. There was nothing in the basement. Still, something made my dog, who usually didn't get upset over anything, react that way. I carefully climbed down and Max kept at my side, growling low. When I got to the basement, I turned on the light and looked around. Old boxes, tools, and forgotten furniture were still in place, but there was nothing out of the ordinary. "Max, there's nothing here." The dog was still restless, sniffing the air with bristling fur. I reached over and petted him to calm him down. Finally, he stopped growling, although he didn't relax completely. I decided he was paranoid for nothing. Maybe he had heard something on the street and had overreacted. I shrugged and went upstairs again, just as the alarm clock in my room began to go off. It was time to pick up my daughter from school. I trudged the 2 blocks to my daughter's school. Using crutches to get around was a bloody nightmare, especially in the summer heat. Still, I didn't complain. There was no time for regrets when I had a child depending on me.
Dad, can I play with Max when we get home?
Of course, honey, but don't bother him too much. Something about the way Max had reacted earlier still bothered me, but I didn't want to worry her. When we got home, Max greeted us at the door, but something about him wasn't right. He didn't bark or jump as usual. Instead, he stood still, staring at us, almost as if he was studying every move we made. His gaze was fixed and penetrating, so much so that for a moment I thought he was behaving like a stranger. My daughter, however, didn't seem to notice.
Come on, Max, let's go.
I stood in the hallway, watching the dog. Max didn't move an inch, his eyes still locked on me, as if he was waiting for something. I thought to myself that he was being ridiculous. Surely he wanted me to give him more food, and he must have thought I was mad about what happened in the basement, and this was his way of asking for forgiveness. After a few hours, I started to worry about Max. Every time I moved or made a noise, I could feel his eyes on me, as if he was watching me. Eventually, I decided to ignore him and focused on making dinner. After a few minutes, my daughter came downstairs for dinner. Max was following her closely, but not in his usual playful way. He stood by her side, now staring right at her.
Dad, Max doesn't want to play with me. He just follows me around and stares at me.
It's okay, honey. Maybe he's tired. As I was setting the table, the lights in the house flickered once and then went out completely. We were in complete darkness. "Stay here." I stood up and grabbed a flashlight from a nearby drawer. I turned it on and the light revealed Max's serious face, still watching us from the edge of the kitchen. My heart was pounding as I made my way to the basement. The only logical explanation was that the fuses had blown. As I reached the basement, I could hear a muffled sound, as if someone was moving around down there. This was no good. I couldn't go down there until I took action. I knew the best thing to do was to escape with my daughter, but maybe it was nothing, and if there was something, I had to take advantage of the fact that she was in the basement before she entered the house and hid somewhere. I know what everyone is thinking, and at the time, I didn't think about locking the man in the basement. But in a tight situation, no one can blame me for not doing the obvious. I told my daughter to go to her room, and I made sure the door to my daughter's room was securely locked and that Max was inside with her. "Hey, buddy, go take care of her, okay?" I went down to the basement with the flashlight, noticing that the sound had stopped. When I reached the top of the stairs, I shone the light on the stacked boxes and furniture. Suddenly, the flashlight picked up something on the floor. I cautiously moved forward and saw it clearly. It was Max, or at least what was left of him. His body was mangled, his fur covered in dried blood. I froze, unable to process what I was seeing. That's when I heard my daughter scream from upstairs. I ran up the stairs as fast as I could, despite the pain in my leg. When I reached her bedroom door, I found it closed, but I could hear her crying on the other side. I pulled on the handle with all my strength, but it wouldn't budge. "Sweetie, I'm here! Open the door!" I tried to hit it with my body again and again, until it finally gave way. When the door opened, what I saw took my breath away. Behind the door was Max, only that wasn't Max. That thing was standing on two legs, with the mouth stretched into an inhuman grimace, gripping my daughter's arm with its teeth. My daughter stood there, eyes wide open, panic reflected in her gaze. Her arm dangled weakly from the creature's mouth, but she didn't scream, as if fear had paralyzed her. I tried to move forward, but the creature lowered its gaze to the arm I held, as if it was considering biting harder. The creature did not react like an animal. It did not recoil or show signs of fear. Instead, it let go of my daughter's arm, allowing her to collapse to the ground and get back on all fours. Before I could move, the creature gave a look that seemed to taunt me, and with one swift, brutal moment, grabbed my daughter around the waist with its jaw and jumped out the window. I heard the glass shatter into 1,000 pieces, and my daughter's piercing screams faded along with the beast. I was paralyzed. I fell to my knees, unable to get up, crutches falling at my side. I tried to crawl towards the window, but I knew it was no use. There was no way to follow that thing. All I had left was the image of my daughter being dragged by that creature. When the police arrived, I couldn't articulate anything coherent. I told them what had happened, every detail, but it all sounded absurd. They searched the entire house, searched the basement where they found Max's body, but when they inspected the outside, there was no sign of my daughter or the creature. The officers tried to console me, saying they would send out search teams and that they would do everything they could do to find her, but their eyes said otherwise. They didn't believe me. They thought I was out of my mind, that I had done something with my daughter after I lost my mind. My daughter never appeared. They searched for days but found nothing, not a trace, not a clue. The case remained unsolved, and eventually the search stopped. I'm in a psychiatric hospital now. They say I'm here for my good, to protect me from myself. But I know the truth. I know that what I saw that night was real. My daughter was taken away by something that shouldn't exist, and no one believes me. I've been told that my wife stopped visiting me, unable to bear the thought that I've lost my mind, that I've done something to my daughter. The night they brought me here, I overheard the doctors talking among themselves. They think it was all a figment of my imagination. A nervous breakdown brought on by the stress of the accident. No one will ever believe me. I can't stop thinking about what happened to my daughter, and where she might be now if she's still alive. I will never know. Sometimes I try to pretend that what happened was a lie, but it's getting harder and harder for me to say logical things. I guess I'm losing my mind. Although I often wonder, did this start happening before or after that night?